Two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to Jedi Mike 7 Movie News Show. I'm your host, Jedi Mike 7, with my co-host, Jay King. Jay King, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I feel like it's a polar opposite here. You're sorry, Cameron. You're in the light. I'm in the darkness.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Got my white, cloak and all that stuff and everything. But no, but this is the age or beginning ages of the dark side, whatever, Acolyte. Yeah, guys, we're going to be reviewing a new show on Disney Plus, the first two episodes, spoiler review, um, of Star Wars Acolyte. And this is a new show that's on Disney Plus, and this is being the perspective of a dark side user and everything. And this is set in the new era of Star Wars, the High Republic, which is about several hundred years before the events of the prequels, the Phantom Menace. So this is totally new territory. Recently, about a few years ago, to give you guys some background, right around during the pandemic and a little bit after the pandemic, that's when they start creating Lucasfilm started creating original stories centered around the High Republic era, which was basically just the golden age of the Jedi. Now, it's not the Old Republic, it's not the New Republic, is the High Republic. So that's where all you see all white cloaks, Jedi's, and everything. They're in the height of their game and everything. But yeah, this is the story focusing on several characters, but mainly one focusing on a Jedi assassin and basically finding this murder mystery, which we'll later find out. Who is the perpetrator and all that stuff and everything. But before we get into that, yeah, J King, what was your thoughts on the show? Well, at least your first initial thoughts before we kind of go more in detail with it. But yeah.
All right. Well, honestly, this was one of those shows. Like when it was announced, I was like, okay, where's this gonna go? And then I saw the first trailer, and I was like, I did not know how I feel about this. But then I saw the first two episodes. Of course, they dropped last night, prime time. Let's go back to prime time releases. Um, but yeah, this is something I wasn't expecting, and at the same time, I'm thoroughly glad I wasn't looking too far into it. Again, as we said, we're in a new territory here, the High Republic era, a part of Star Wars that has not really been charted outside of the novels that have talked about it. We haven't seen it in animation, we haven't seen it in live action before this, not any video games. We've had hits of it throughout the video games. But in terms of actually seeing it in a Star Wars project, be it movie or Disney Plus series, this is the first we're getting to see the Jedi at their highest with some characters you might know, but also a lot of newer characters. Again, 100 years before these are the prequels. And I just got to say, putting us in this type of setting where things are just not as we would expect for Star Wars, especially the earliest before this that we have gotten a good look at was the events of the prequels and the Clone Wars and everything surrounding that. This is well before then, and this just feels different. The Jedi feel different, but also starting to see the seeds of what we kind of grit our teeth at in the prequels when it comes to the Jedi, the birth or rebirth, sorry, of the Sith, and just core concepts of two sides, light and darkness. Again, not getting into spoilers with it, but just the light and darkness winning within characters or a pair of characters. And again, it's just a lot to look forward to here. Again, the first two episodes really good and some really good action, which I think they called like Force Foo or something. I think that's what they called it behind the scenes, Force Foo. But yeah, just a lot to look forward to. So if people want something not connected to the Skywalker saga in any way, here this is as far away from it as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, for me with this is like uh again, I came in with low expectations. I actually read, at least two of the novels of High Republic and everything, so I was familiar with the era. But again, I was not trying to come with preconceived notions or anything, and just trying to set for what it is and stuff. But I gotta say that with the first two episodes that I've saw, that I gotta say that I think I like what I'm seeing in terms of what the groundwork they're establishing, the era. Again, the big thing when you mentioned about with the action scenes, I'd say that this is probably the best hand-to-hand combat I've seen in Star Wars in a long time, and honestly, something I've been championing for since like really with the prequels, because even then post Revenge of the Sith, really haven't gotten a lightsaber fight. I feel that has topped, Revenge of the Sith, choreography or prequel choreography with lightsabers. But now you got a few parts of Ahsoka and all that stuff like that. But I thought they did a really good job with the choreography on this. But again, this is centering around an assassin who basically starts with a murder of a Jedi master. But yeah, we get some big names in this show and everything. But they basically the groundwork to a bigger mystery unfolding and everything. Building in the future and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought this was again the good set stone for the rest of the season. Again, we've been down this road before with Disney Plus Star Wars, so I don't want to get my hopes high or anything like that, because again, it's just like, all right, you have a good first 4 episodes and it fall apart in the last 4 episodes. So I hope it doesn't, but only time will tell. But with that, again, we're seeing the Jedi in the height of their game, bigger than ever before, right? And you see a lot of new Jedi Masters, Padawans, apprentices, and stuff like that. And we get some big heavy hitters. We got Carrie Moss in this, who had an amazing fight scene in the beginning of episode 1. But yeah, I thought this was just very good choreographed first 2 episodes and stuff. But I like what they're building up here. But yeah, what's some of the characters that kind of like stand out to you between episode 1 and 2?
I have to say, in terms of that, there's like 3 characters that really stuck out to me. The first one was Soul, played by good old Lee Jung Jae, who we of course all know from Squid Game. He, as Master Soul of the High Republic era, he had what I would like to compare to would be like a very Qui-Gon Jinn character, someone that very much is a wise, respected master, also someone that feels like a very good father, like almost like a father figure, like you could expect from like how Qui-Gon was with Obi-Wan or how he was with the young Anakin. Again, it was just that kind of vibe, and you could see why people respected him. And just like Carrie Ann Moss, he had a really good fight scene as well in episode 2. That again, choreography here has just been so good. The other one is we got the Jedi Padawan Jackie, played by Daphne Keane, aka X-23 from the Logan film, and we'll see if maybe in Deadpool and Wolverine, who knows, but we'll see. But again, playing Jedi Padawan Jackie Lon, the apprentice to Master Soul. And again, we haven't seen much of her just yet, but I really like how her character was portrayed. Again, very much embodying the type of stuff that we would see later on with the Jedi, like, like, are you sure you should be connected to those attachments and all that type of stuff, definitely echoing it. And I'm curious to see if her character is going to change from that or loosen up a bit as the story goes on. And finally has to be Jedi Master, or now Jedi Master Yord, played by Charlie Burnett, who we, of course, recognized as the older son of Diggle from Arrow, from the future timeline in the CW Arrow show. Again, he basically is Mr. Follows the rules in a sense, while also he's basically trying to embody and I quote, cleanliness of the Jedi of this era. Again, they're wearing white and gold. They're wearing such regal colors. This is not the same type of stuff we would see in the prequels or in any other era of Jedi, other than this. He's trying to embody that, like, oh, we're pure, we're clean kind of thing, even just to make sure he has no wrinkles in any parts of his suit. But again, he's embodying it. And I'm also curious to see if his character is going to loosen up a bit as the story goes on.
Yeah. And you mentioned when we get into the Jedi, it's like, yeah, mentioned, we're in the High Republic era. So again, they're in a lot of whites and and basically Knights of the Round Table and everything like that. But again, you mentioned about terms of the representing how clean he is, because there's a scene of him cleaning his Jedi robes and everything. But he has a very strong man personality and stuff. But again, what's the overall story around him and everything? People trying to find this person who murdered this Jedi Master. Characters like him make sense, because you have to have somebody like that at least just be like, hey, we need to stick to the mission. Should we trust this individual and everything? But again, it reveals a lot of the arrogance and the naiveness of the Jedi Order itself too, because again, they so focus on principle, but yet again, I think they can get so full of it where they are so naive in just terms of their hypocrisy, some of the decisions that they make and everything. Because again, we're seeing this from the quote unquote villain's perspective. But again, now how we move forward with that, I guess we just gotta wait till more episodes come in. But yeah, I like the term on the Jedi's and the heavy hitters that come in these first two episodes and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, I want to main character to stick out for me is so this is what's surprising. This is spoil non or this is a spoiler whatever, but um I was completely shocked that we that off rip they just like the episode, you know, you thinking like, okay, yeah, she's the killer, right? This is a person we see in the trailers.
Oh yeah,
But
this whole thing.
right, but apparently this is what's the character's name? I forgot. May.
Yeah, the assassin is May,
Right.
but we come to find out that but then people are referring to
Osha.
her,
Osha.
as Osha, and we come to
Yes.
learn that the reason why is because there's two of them. They're twins.
They're twins, which I'm like, okay. Well, I was like, I was watching the first episode. I was like, wait, okay, now if you're doing some type of like, I don't know, Harry Potter, like, you know, other personality wakes up, you know, while you asleep, or like Bruce Banner type of thing, like where you're just asleep and the dark side version of you wakes up and kills people. Then you wake up like, what happened? You know, like stuff like that, right? No, no. But this is the same actress playing two different characters playing twin sisters, which I was like, okay, that's interesting. Now, have I seen a twin storyline before in Star Wars with the dark side and the light side? Yes. If you haven't even played any video games in Star Wars, no, was it a Battlefront, New Republic, everything like that? Even watched the Star Wars Old Republic cinematics, you know, with the twin brothers, you know.
Or you got Star Wars Visions, that one short with the two siblings who are on the dark side, but one is also on the light side. That there's also a parallel there.
Right. So we've seen this trope before and everything, but I guess it's just kind of a mystery as the story unveils and everything. But I commend them for the fact that I didn't even know like off until episode one. Like, wait, what? I was like, oh, okay.
And the thing is, it's just been staring us in the face. Even this poster, it's been staring us in the face.
Right, because like, oh yeah, like the poster. Oh, let me move my stuff here. Yeah, because even the poster too, like it was like, oh yeah, there's two people there. But I'm like, well, I've seen multiple people on the same trailer before. Like what? I mean, and I look at it, I was like, oh, oh, you know, I get it. And so I get it, you know. So you see the dark side, a darker side, and the lighter side. I was like, oh, I thought this is representing who she is, you know. No, it's two different people. Gotcha. And then you look at the locks is a little bit different too. But now I will say I don't understand how I haven't seen you like in what 10 years, whatever, and we have the same haircut. And you know, I don't know. Like, you know, so yeah, right. I don't know that comes from their culture. Or yeah, you just keep the same haircut, what like we were when we were children, and you know, and our family were burned alive and all that stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, but also yeah, we see that she's also with May, the assassin. By the way, who she's not using lightsabers, but she is a force wielder. And also, that was a cool camera shot scene where you're seeing it between these two. Like, okay, you're in perspective of Osha, where she's getting arrested, right? And she's reaching for something. I'm like, oh, okay, then she must be the kill. Oh, yeah, she must be the killer because, like, you see here, like the thought they're the same person, but then she doesn't have, or she might has the force, but you don't see her being strong in the force and everything. So I was like, okay, that was confusing. But yeah, I didn't know like what they were doing with that. But anyway, like that was just kind of like interesting to me. But yeah, but we find out that also that May, the assassin, that she's under somebody, whether another master or apprentice, whatever, who's basically sending her out on the mission to be this acolyte, to be this assassin, and that she's going out and killing these Jedi Masters, and she has a list, like, you know, like Arrow, like, you know, and crossing folks off their list and everything. But yeah, I thought this was very interesting in terms of what they were going to build on like what this revenge type of story. Because again, we know fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. And to see this now, this duality between two twin sisters is new, but I'm intrigued for it. But another thing I would commend them for too, aside just from the action scenes and everything, but really I think it's just the murder mystery of it all and representing just terms of where the Jedi Order stands today, as basically being this type of like police, an under order of the Jedi Order, you're under arrest, but then representing almost the imagery of police when one of their own is gets eradicated or whatever, and then how they're just on a sole mission to just find out who took one of our team members out, whatever, like that. You see that today, real life and everything, even military. The same thing, fallen soldier, and then, we're that camaraderie, but also how that can blind you too of just focusing on just for a hunt for blood, a hunt for revenge and everything. That's to me, I was really intrigued with they're establishing that groundwork here. But as someone that has read the books too, I will say again, this is if you have not read anything about Star Wars, the High Republic, or anything, I won't say you won't go in blind. It just be a new era, so everything's gonna be new for you. Again, it's new for us because this is relatively fresh and everything. But I do believe there's a lot of content that can be explored within this era and everything. And but yeah, I thought that at least with the novels that I've read, that this definitely seems to stay in the same vein. Again, just keeping that this is the height of the Jedi. We're seeing different types of creatures as Jedi 2, and then in episode 2 we see a Wookiee with the Force, and which we know later in the trailer we know one of them has a lightsaber and everything. But yeah, I thought that was a cool way to end the episode with a force wielding Wookiee though. But J King, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, again, there's just a lot to look forward to when it comes to the rest of the season. And again, especially with that ending with the force wielding force wielding Wookiee. We knew that was going to be a thing, and it's if I remember correctly, it's even the same guy that usually does Chewbacca's movements. But it's going to be interesting just because we haven't seen a Wookiee Jedi in live action as far as I'm like remembering. We know that
No,
it's happened, but this is the first time
no.
seeing this, so I'm going to be curious how it'll be different from how we usually see Wookiees in Star Wars. But yeah, again, a lot to look forward to in the show. There's just a lot. Again, wasn't expecting to look forward to a lot, but I'm hooked. The show has my attention.
Yeah, because we have seen Wookiees at least with lightsabers, like in animated shows and everything. But no, this is gonna be the first live action we'll see of of a Wookiee basically being a Jedi and everything. I think that was just a cool way to end it off here. But yeah, we'll see a few shots in the trailer. Basically, yeah, we're gonna see more of this Jedi Wookiee, and who knows, he might actually be one of the the Jedi's that need to be killed and everything, or on the list. Hope not and everything, but
No,
yeah, but
they said he is on the list.
he probably is. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's on
So
the list. So that's the next target.
right. Well, we'll get open up a can of whoop ass for that. Yeah. So, but yeah, but also I want to ask before we kind of wrap things up. What was your thoughts on terms of the apprentice or the dark side force user with the red lightsaber? The only thing we see, which might also possibly be foreign to a lot of people during this time. So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the mystery. It definitely shows the type of way that the Sith operates. And again, like we've seen this before multiple times. It's like it definitely shows like the birth of how they operate, trying to destroy the again quote unquote pureness that is the Jedi High Republic or the image of the Jedi in general, not just in fighting them, but also destroying the image of them. Because again, like we still don't know what exactly went down that separated these twin sisters, but at least as far as we know, like they're trying to use that to basically corrupt and bring down the Jedi Order. Of course, we know that's not going to fully happen. Something else will take down the Jedi Order, but still, it's just you can see the type of thinking this is the type of thinking that would later go on to fuel someone like Palpatine, in his way of taking over. And it's going to be interesting to see who this guy is. There's a lot of theories about which Sith Lord from around this time period he could be, or that he could be working for. Because again, like he seems like the big boss, but who knows? Maybe just the boss before the boss. But again, I'm just interested to see what they tell us and how much they want to tell us about who exactly this guy is with this very, very interesting mask.
Yeah, right. And again, but I would see the way like this lightsaber emits and everything is different, but also the fact that this dark side user is also hiding his own identity from May. And even when Soul was trying to read her mind and trying to find out the identity of this person, she's like, no, he's also hiding his identity from you. So well, again, I think again this now with the murder mystery, the way to I guess to have the greater impact is also from uh making it personal. Yes, you kill one a member of the Jedi Order and everything, but also just the fact that it's a family member, right? We're already dealing with sisters on two opposing sides and everything. But what if this guy might be a relative of somebody, might be a relative of Soul or something? We don't know. But again, it just adds to more the personal element of it into because again anything with Star Wars we know that whenever where family is involved there's always bad blood so one form of another but yeah I like what I'm seeing here. I'm not saying I'm not blown over the moon, but I will just say, hey, I give credit where credit is due. I'm seeing some of the action scenes, the choreography, and I enjoy it. And yeah, I'm just kind of just looking forward to how they go from this. Again, I'm still being patient, whether if I've actually sold on this show. I'm sold on the concept, definitely. But again, for me, there's always still a little sore spot for me because Star Wars to me is always a theatrical experience, and I feel it's been kind of diminished. Not kind of, definitely been diminished in the last few years and everything. And I feel like it has not missed the magic of what Star Wars, at least to me, what it's supposed to be. But again, this show is doing everything I wanted to do in terms of establishing something new, expanding upon it. Like even then, you saw that scene with the Jedi. She couldn't even touch him. Like that was some badass. That was some badass stuff. Like come on, like but it's not like anything like I'm in in outer cold space and I'm able to use the force to pull me through a ship and everything, even though I don't have no spacesuit and I really should be dead by now. But I'm Princess Leia and I can do whatever I want. Boom, God rest her soul. But yes, like it, this is like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can't touch him, you know, But then also the fact that even he took the poison and knowing that she's going out for revenge, and he accepted, like, yep, I know we all coming for it. We're all getting, So yeah, I'll take this willingly, and so that's interesting to me, But yeah, I thought that was cool. Like, but yeah, I know. What was your thoughts before we wrap things up, man?
Yeah, again, as I said before, this is just an interesting show. This is going to be very interesting to see every Tuesday how the story develops. Because again, there's a lot that so far. This is a lot that is just making sense to not only the era of Star Wars, but just Star Wars in general. The way the characters are acting, the way that the action is happening, the way that this story is developing within this mystery. Again, that's the big thing for me. It's just what on earth are these four Jedi hiding? What did they do around the time that they saved Osha but didn't save May that they need to expose, and what other things are going to be revealed along the way? How deep rooted is this going to be in Jedi history that it'll even maybe explain shit that we haven't really thought about when it comes to other Star Wars projects?
Yeah, I agree. But this will episode 3 will be coming out next week on Tuesday, no Wednesday, no Tuesday, at 7 no 7 or 9. Is it 7 p.m. or 9 p.m.?
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Western.
All right, bingo. That's where, yeah, on next week, and we'll be covering that as well. But yeah, we also got some interviews and stuff that's becoming away on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys hit notification bell on your way out and everything. Till next time, this is Jedi Mike 7, and this is Jay King. Peace. We are. out.